the pack ready for Saturday, given this is your first full week together, getting the whole squad together?
I think we're building on from what we did in the Six Nations. You know, we were good. There was good foundation laid in the Six Nations, and a lot of the players we've been in touch with, speaking to on a regular basis through the club season. So there's just been a continuation of what we built on in the Six Nations, and then it's just the finer coordination between the players. So we've had 2 good sessions with the pack this week. I'm really happy with where we are. And tomorrow we'll take it into the game scenario and get to test that.
What have you made of Jack Willis's development this season?
He's been really good for his club. Dynamic over the top of the ball. Has made a big impact, and that's the type of effect we want for all the young players to really grasp an opportunity to play for their clubs and put their hand up. And the fact that his club was in the final and played so well and took it to the edge. You know, it had a lot to do with his mindset, the way he played the game.
You talked about his impact over the ball. What else about his game stands out for you so far that you've seen?
His relentless physicality. He's always putting himself in the contest on attack and defence. And from a loose forward perspective, that's exactly what you want. You know, the guys who've got to bring your intensity and your physicality, and he's constantly either in attack or defence, put himself there and hasn't stepped off the line, and that's what's been great from my perspective.
And would he be ready to be involved in Saturday if he's picked? Is he ready for that step up to Test rugby, would you say?
Yeah, he's definitely ready.
Okay. Have there been any injury concerns or developments since yesterday?
No, not since yesterday, no.
Okay. Thanks, Matt.
Matt, can I ask you what you made of Italy in Dublin?
I thought Italy played really. Ireland played really well. I thought the intensity they played with was great, and what we saw from the Italians was they played their style. You know, they didn't change. They played with the way they wanted to play. They tried to put width in the game. I think that's going to be a different challenge for us. You know, where we've tended to face teams who comes, you know, through the middle. The Italians have tried to open the opposition apart, and they kept doing it effectively. So it's a little bit of a different challenge. From a pack perspective, I thought their front row was really, on the line at scrum time. I thought they were good. I thought they looked to had a good intent to try and put the Irish front row under pressure. So I expect a good tussle at scrum time. That was the one thing I've really paid attention to from them on the weekend. That's about that.
At what stage do you guys start talking about bonus points, though? We don't know which way Ireland's going to go, but you'd be surprised if there was a try bonus point in that match. So 5 points for England really opens things up. Do you talk about that, or do you almost allow that to take care of itself?
No, I think from a pack perspective, we concern. Our focus is really on how we start in the first 20. How dominant we can be in the first 20. That mindset is what's important to us. What happens later through the game, we can't control. And we don't focus on that type of a thing. For us is the intent, particularly in the first 20, how we start, how we put the team on the front foot. That's been our discussion this week.
Can I ask you how difficult it's been to actually put together a front row group for these matches? Because as we've seen with COVID, players that come into close contact then have to isolate. Now, invariably, that is a big problem for front rowers. You can lose a lot of players in a very short period of time. Can you just sort of tell us how difficult it's been and maybe how many different combinations you've had to even try and put your mind to?
I think in situations like this, what our focus has gone back to basics. Really focus on the basics. That if the scenario happens that you need to adapt to, you can adapt really quickly. So determining from a start what our process is, and then focusing on each individual to do that basic really, really well, particularly at scrum time. So it's about the setup, it's about the bind. And then if you need to be adaptive, you can bolt on. You can almost interchange personnel for personnel. So that has been our approach. I must say the players coming in have added a lot of intellect and a lot of options to us there. But how they've grasped the concept that we want to do and the way we've trained it, broken it down right back to basics to get the basics really, really spot on, will allow us to be more adaptive going forward.
Can I just ask you that France have got a rule in place between the top 14 and the Federation that they can only play their players 3 times in the 6 matches over the autumn. Do you guys have a free hand? And if you do, how much of an advantage is that?
Yeah, that's not for me, for my position as a forwards coach. You know, that's for Eddie to manage, and I'm sure if we need our players, we'll have our players.
Thanks, Matt.
We'll leave the live section